Race fans, welcome to RaceSpotTV, live on a Monday night here at beautiful Oulton Park in Cheshire. Monday Night Skippys, round number 11. It's coming up next. You don't want to miss it.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV. Rachel and Linus bringing you the action as always. And well, qualifying is underway. And we just saw a mistake from Tom Ward as he's on his qualifying lap here right at the end of qualifying, trying to improve from 4th place. And Linus, look who is on pole.
Robert Plumley. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. I have no idea.
And he's ahead by about a nose over Gordon Ramsay by about 11 hundredths of a second. That is tight at the top. And Gordon Ramsay second, Freeman Snyder's third, Ward in 4th, Mercer in 5th. This is a real shake-up here, as we weren't really expecting plumbers to come out of nowhere.
I think he might have had a good draft on that lap to get up to that pole position, but it's going to be great to see what he can do from the front.
Certainly is. There's a couple of cars still out on laps, including Mark Mercer, who is out for a lap with one of his Club 100 besties, Peter Cowan, I believe. So we'll see what happens when he comes across the line. That tow will be a very complimentary team tow going on there. Through the final corner will come Mark Mercer's got a good run there. Could be an improvement. We'll have to keep an eye. 27.303, so he only has half. No, he's going to back out. Okay, so that's not going to change things up at the top. As your drivers come across the line, time for your starting grid. First time I've said it this season, but Robert Plumley takes the top spot with a 27.229. Gordon Ramsay for him and Snyder's. Tom Ward and Mark Mercer is your top 5. With Stuart Adcock, Simon Edwards, Simon Povey, who's back again. Anthony Catt and Christopher Cash is 10th place. Behind them, Mark Turner, Steve Hefford, Adrian Bidewell, Andrew Leach, Paul Thurston in 15th place. And that's James McRitchie, Matt Cox, Jack Hobbs, Stuart Dick, and Daryl Taylor is your top 20. Rest of your 40-car grid coming up on your screen now. And Linus, our 1 second bracket we go over every week. A 27.3 is what we're looking for. Or a 28.3, I should say. And that takes us all the way down to about 25th place. 3/4 of your grid within a second. It's Oulton Park. It's one of the stalwarts of the Skippy series season. This is going to be a great race.
Yeah, and they're using the layout without all the chicanes as well, so it's going to be a lot of high-speed racing today and a lot of drafting going on, so expect, even though there's not a whole lot of tight corners, there's going to be a whole lot of great racing today with all this drafting.
Certainly is. From what we're hearing, Adrian Bidewell's claiming that Robert Plumley owes him a beer for the drafting that got him to pole there, so that explains how we see him up at the front. But this will be a good race. It always is a good track, and yeah, like you said, Oulton Park without chicanes is very fast and very, very flowy, so we should be up for a great one tonight as music will actually just go plonk. But Robert Plumley will be taking the pole for you here tonight. We have 40 cars lined up, and again, we talked about the return of a couple of drivers, but yeah, I'm looking at 8th place here. Simon Povey, the 45 car. He has not been on track in this series for a long, long time, and I am so glad to see him back on track. With him and Mercer back, this is going to be a very interesting race at the front.
Yeah, if he's still got the same speed and the same racecraft, we could very well see him racing for the win towards the end of this race, but there is still quite a few names out there that want to get that win, so might be in for one of the best races of this season, hopefully.
Certainly should be, of course, and it's going to be an incredibly good race as we see the cars line up. But who will come victorious in 16 laps time? It's a fast lap here. 1 minute 30 is our lap bracket really for this track, so this will be a very, very quick race. Fast and very scary, judging by the speeds we'll see on this track as the racers get ready to set off for tonight's event. And hello if you're joining us, as always, here on RaceSpotTV here on Twitch. And, well, that's Monday Night Skippies begin. The engine is going to start to rev up here. The final seconds on the clock before we get that green flag here, Oulton Park, in the heart of Cheshire. I do remember actually seeing the British touring cars at this track, Linus, with you, actually, a couple of years ago. It was quite a novel place.
Yeah, we ended up driving backwards on the track to get out.
We did, yes. Intentionally,
it was quite
an
experience.
Intentionally, they had traffic flow messages to get us actually out of one of the gates by driving up the hill at the back of the track. So, yeah, we drove the wrong way around Oulton Park. So we'll move on before that ends up being a story about traffic measures at BTCC events. But either way, the flag will fly now. Green flag's out, race is green. Great start by Ramsey. Not so good by Robert Plumley, who's a little slow off the mark there. Not so used to going from the top spot, but Ramsey drops back into second place. And Snyder's looking around the outside into one, but didn't get a good run. Tom Ward really chocked up there. Mercer dives to the outside already. Tom Ward has the anchors on in this race, Linus.
Yeah, I think he had to not run into the car in front of him there or go off the track. So, bit of a stack up there, but everyone seems to be going single file down through the hill.
Mercer has his measure.
Coming down to the hairpin, we'll see what's going to happen. Are they all going to survive?
Look at this. Oh, under the brakes there. Before they get to the hairpin, Mark Mercer tried to go to the outside.
Oh,
Tom contact! Tom Ward dumped there by, I think that's a 52, of Stuart Adcock. So Adcock was like, excuse me, we're coming through. As I also think they're joined there by the 27 of Simon Edwards, who's going to come up on there. And behind them, that's the 45 of Povey, the 28 of Cat, the blue car right behind him. And it's still going to be Rob Plumley up at the sharp end there with Gordon Ramsay. Antonides followed by Mercer. And then we have, of course, Edwards, and then car of Tom Ward, who's dropped back in the running order here after his little trip in the chicane. Or should we say he was helped to trip? I think he's more accurate for this one, Linus. Up towards the end of the first lap, and some big changes already at the front.
Yeah, got a pretty clean first lap anyway. That was pretty much the only accident. As we see Tom Ward pulling into pit lane here actually, and that is going to cost him a lot. But that was pretty much the only incident we had, apart from a couple of small touches. But still, going in the lead is Robert Plumley ahead of Gordon Ramsay and Fahim Antonides.
Really is. Antonides doing a great job in today's race. Back up towards the sharp end here. Plumley still leading from Ramsay, leading from Antonides. Povey actually just got ahead there of Mark Mercer as well. So Povey's jumped up this field as up the inside he goes. Oh, contact there with Antonides as Povey went for a deep, deep dive. And that will really cost Antonides some running time there as
he pulls off the track.
I think he might be damaged. Simon Povey is damaged and he's going to retire that car. So Povey's lunge cost him big style. He is out of this one, and Antonides may have damage too. We'll have to see, but Mark Mercer is looming very large at the back of his car. Look at this one. Big run up the hill. That's the hill we drove the wrong way along, Linus. We drove down that hill. As here comes up the inside. Mark Mercer looking for third place. Through the double apex right there, and he gets the position.
Nice pass by him there, and see if he can get back up the inside here coming into the last corner. He's not going to try that. He's going to stay behind. They really don't want to lose the front two cars either by battling too hard, so for him, the cars behind Antonides won't come passing him now, because that will just destroy his chances of winning this race.
Certainly could, and this will definitely shake things up a little bit. Antonides still there in the fourth spot with Stuart Adcock sitting behind him in the fifth spot. Edwards, Hefford, Cat, Turner, Bidewell, Leach, and Thurston up to a 12th place already, as I think we might have seen a retirement here. Tom Ward, he has not retired. No, he's had another incident. We'll have a quick look back and find out what happened to him. But Ward is right at the back of your field here.
He went into the pit lane after the first lap incident, I think. So he's going to drop back to the very, very back of the field, unfortunately.
That would explain it. A number of cars going off on their own actually around this racetrack, Linus. unforced errors actually around the field. Yes, Tom Ward did actually pit there, which explains why he's off the track.
Oh, we got side by side
Ramsey
for
here
the lead.
passing for the lead. Yeah, Ramsey through on Plumley before they charge up the hill. And this fight will bring Mark Mercer into this one as Plumley looks to try and strike back here as they climb the hill. Plumley and Ramsey side by side, nearly contact. This is getting aggressive, this race. So here comes Mark Mercer to get involved. Antonides joins back into this group and got suddenly a very big fight here at the front.
Yeah, Mercer is joining in and Antonides isn't too far ahead. They're side by side for 5th though, but it looks like actually that Antonides is going to keep that position. So actually that's Adcock going up to 4th ahead of Antonides.
Certainly is, and
Ramsey
to the outside again. Not going to be a good line for him around the outside of 1. It's not a corner you can typically pass on the outside. And, well, there you go. Just proved it as he nearly comes back up the track in front of Mark Mercer. Mercer will have some speed, though, after that little sideways trip for him, as Mark Mercer should clear him, but he has the inside, so this could go to Ramsey still. Mercer can hang him around the outside on this corner. Plumley's going to give him the draft, so on the outside there on his own is Gordon Ramsay. As this inside line will prove better here for Mercer. Good line for him as, oh, big lunge by Gordon Ramsay to the outside. Inside still held there by Mercer, who carries the speed. Will have the inside now for the next corner. That keeps him in a very prime position. But this fighting here, Linus, this is grouping everyone up in this very, very, very aggressive race.
Yeah, they've been side by side for quite a while now.
Sideways again, sideways again. Oh, Stuart Adcock looking for a space, had to back out there the last second. Couldn't make it work. He has to drop back in line behind Ramsey, who's, well, they say if you want to make it on, you need to break some eggs. But unfortunately, Mr. Ramsey here is throwing the eggs at the wall and then stamping on them, it seems. As up to second place goes Mark Mercer.
Yeah, that wasn't great awareness from both Adcock and Antonides. That could have been a devastating accident for all of them, but backing out at the last second to keep this group alive, and there's about 10 or 11 cars now in this lead group, which Plumley's actually pulling ahead of a little bit with all this fighting going on.
He is indeed. Robert Plumley getting a bit of a head start here. With Mark Mercer coming though fast here, it's going to be advantage to Mark. As looking to the outside will be Ramsey, who looked like he was going to try, but no, he stays back in line for the moment. To the second corner, he's just going to try and hold on here. Adcock's going to look like he's going to want to make an attack. Mercer, though, seems to have secured that second spot now away from Ramsey, so he could actually take the right line here for the hairpin and go after Plumley. There's a big deep dive there by Ramsey again. He's been taking that corner very deeply. Incredibly aggressive on the brakes there for Gordon Ramsay. And nearly into the back of Mercer. That would have ended an argument.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some super brakes on that car, braking a lot later than everyone else, and I don't think that's going to wear out the tyres either, so if he can keep doing that, that's going to be a big advantage for him until he runs into someone, which could end his race. But see Mercer coming up on Plumley for the lead here, but it looks like he's just going to stay behind for now as Plumley takes a very defensive line, and that's going to hurt him on the exit. Mercer almost runs into the back of him, but Plumley's going to stay ahead for now.
Certainly is. Look at this fight we have at the front. It's 3 wide, almost nearly there, heading into the final corner. Ramsey comes back into second place there over Mercer. And here comes Adcock getting ready to be involved in this fight here as they're going to try and split him. Mercer threads the needle there past Adcock and Ramsey. To the inside, can he go? Once again, Ramsey runs very wide there. Mercer takes the spot. Adcock gets alongside him, but if Adcock can get clear of Ramsey, that could definitely protect Mercer from a banzai braking. But he holds the spot just for now. Adcock will have to drop back into the 4th place here. Plumley feeling very unthreatened at the moment. His lead isn't significant, but it seems to be unchallenged right now. Robert Plumley doing a fantastic job up here at the front. Once again, nearly a huge braking thing again by Ramsey. Is he just deciding not to bother braking?
I don't know, he's just really, really late on the brakes. Something I noticed though on the front straightaway with Fahim Antonides, when he got side by side in front of him and 3 wide, he actually lifted out rather than trying to get involved, so I'm wondering if he's playing it a bit defensive here today.
Seems to be doing just that, and well, it's defensive would be a good idea in this race, but I don't know how long that can last here. Lap 6 of 16, so 10 laps to go in this one, and Oh, Mercer's awkwardly close here to Robert Plumley. If he can get clear, he might have a shot at running away with this one. As long as he can keep ahead of Stuart Adcock and keep some cars between the two of them, it could be a big advantage for Mercer. But Plumley holding on to his lead as well as he can. He's really not been attacked yet, so other than Ramsey nearly going Linus, he's been very, very secure in this one. Defensive line there, incredibly defensive by Plumley. Wide will go Mercer. Oh, good shot up the inside. The over-under move there nearly by Mark Mercer. Can he get to the outside here of Plumley and hold it around the outside? If he can, that's a real chance for him. He's going to have a good line. Can he? No, he doesn't. He drops back as nearly tagged there by Ramsey. A huge run here, though. Mark Mercer to the outside of Plumley. No, drops back in line. Wants to take a nice, gentle run. This time without getting a banzai move. Here he goes again. Once again, Gordon Ramsay, the banzai master, dives it in everywhere he can. This is some Club Brazil level racing going on, Linus, as Hugo scowls at me.
He made it up to second place though with that one, and he's going to be looking at Robert Plumley now going uphill, but he's actually going to have a weird line into that corner, so Plumley's going to pull away a little bit. Mercer will be looking to get back into that second position, as Adcock will be looking to get third at the same time. But they're staying single file for now.
Paul Thurston's dropped back to 15th place at the moment. He's racing here with McRitchie and Cox in the bottom end of your top 15. Up ahead of them though, got a fight there going on just ahead, including Leach and Hefford battling on track. 502 and a 75. There's a lot of cars up ahead getting in some gravel there. Do the final sequences. Oh, big change here for the lead as Plumley gets attacked by Gordon Ramsay. Mercer's looking to draw. Oh, car slowed there on the start finish line, nearly cost Plumley the position. Plumley holds on. Very close. Oh, contact between Ramsey and Plumley. Will Mercer thread the needle? Mercer's right up there behind Ramsey, hoping this time he breaks as deep as he has been recently. And up the inside there of Plumley, who's now dropped back to second place for the first time since the beginning of the race. And oh, big speed loss. Adcock there nearly goes into the back of him. Mercer's past Plumley. Now, can they deal with the Banzai Master at the front? Can anyone get past Gordon Ramsay? As we have a huge collision 2x2 into the hairpin. And Plumley nearly dropping back to third place at this rate, as it's now Mercer and Ramsey at the front.
This front group now is formed up to be 14 cars with a bit of gaps in between them, but this is bigger than I think we've seen in a long time, as Plumley's now dropped back to fourth behind Adcock.
Yeah, I think once you lose that lead, it's very easy to slip backwards in these races, Linus, and just lose some positions. Well, he has done just that, unfortunately. But there is a lot more time to play in this one. Plenty of laps left to go, about halfway actually. This time we cross the line, we'll be halfway through this race, and here goes Mark Mercer making a move for the lead on the late break master Gordon Ramsay. We may actually ever come back at him this time out the corner. We had a good run there through the corner, up along the outside. Mercer has the preferred line, and judging by how Ramsey's taken outside lines, Linus, this might actually go badly for him. His outside lines, no, he clears him in time. His outside lines have generally been a bit washy. He tends to run wide, but he holds that one just about here and holds on to the lead.
Yeah, he did a good job there around the outside, but clearing before the turns, and here we go now down towards the hairpin. And he doesn't really have to worry about Mercer considering how late he brakes himself, so I think Mercer is actually looking to the outside, but he lifts out early, and it's going to just be a bit of single file racing. As we got Antonides on the inside of Plumley going up for fourth.
We do, and just a little bit further back in this one, actually around Paul Thurston, we have a big squabble of cars here, nearly three wide. It is three wide there, just up ahead of them. One of those cars, Matt Cox, along with Hefford, and I believe the Jack Hobbs there, the 361. Cox threads the needle, gets himself back up ahead there of Hobbs, or of Hefford, sorry. Now they've cycled back through again, and they keep hitting this Paul Thurston will make a few spots off them, but they're going to keep themselves going in a respectable order. Back to the sharp end. Mercer ran a little bit wide. Adcock's going to attack him. Both of them still trying to get back towards Gordon Ramsay, who's pushing super hard in this race. Plumley down to the 5th spot here behind Antonides. And here we go, once again across the line. On to lap 10 here. 6 laps to go in tonight's race. As behind him, Plumley makes a move on Antonides up the inside in 1. And a good run by Mercer towards second place. Can he dive to the inside? Will he pull a Ramsey Not yet, he won't, as Ramsey's going to just take a little bit of a wide line. Gets a good run, but here comes Mercer. Can he go to the outside? He's going to try it. Mercer to the outside here for the hairpin. Or at least a wider entry there than Gordon Ramsay allows himself, and Mark Mercer catches good speed through the corner, but not enough to make anything happen with it. A little bit further back in that lead group there, we see Mark Turner up in this one. That's the number 13 there, alongside the car of Simon Edwards there behind Plumley. Plumley having dropped another spot there, now going to be under threat from Mark. Sharp and then Mercer still trying to catch up here, trying to do something with this. And it's not quite enough. Just never seems to be close enough to make anything stick. And with the late braking, very aggressive risk-taking strategies here from Ramsey, Linus, it's hard for anyone to try and compete with that. It's up the inside again, goes Mercer. And it looks like a good under-over move here by Ramsey, who's going to take a nice wide line and possibly cut back on him. Yes, he'll have to go back to the outside to do it, as Mercer will take the defensive position, but he might actually be clear enough on the outside for the corner. He won't. Mercer holds the lead, but will run very wide. Can he come back across? He does. Holds his speed there. Didn't lift off at all on the grass, Linus, as he cuts him off there. Cuts off Ramsey and lets Adcock up the inside. And that's going to help him a lot there as they shuffle Ramsey back to third place in one corner.
Yeah, but look out for him now coming down to the hairpin. He's going to be on the outside of Adcock, and I think he's going to be side by side going into the turn. Look at that, he's almost
he does
passed
it again. Lost the position very firmly with the lack of brakes. I think that car's just missing half his brake pads, Linus. I've never seen him do a normal braking maneuver on this track all race long. As now we have 1-2, Mercer and Adcock. That's a different pairing that we've seen at the front, and two similarly paced cars. Now we'll see what they can do if they're actually going to stretch their legs here, because they're not under threat from a late dive pass we've seen from Ramsey. They're holding them back a little bit perhaps. Look at this, the pair shuffle off already. Adcock though right on the rear bumper here of Mercer. The two probably going to run in line here and just get some distance from the rest of this field before they try and fight it out. They know they've got laps to play with, but Adcock may just go for a move here.
One move from Adcock and Ramsey will be right there to try and take advantage of any sort of mistake, but for now we still got Mercer ahead of Adcock and Ramsey, and Antonidis is actually catching back up to this lead group, so he's still got a chance to win this race too.
He certainly could. Adcock is definitely holding up with this group here as Plumley has dropped a little bit back. He's now ahead there of Mark Turner. Adcock really hasn't made a threatening move here on Mark Mercer yet, Linus. He's kind of trailing along behind, but I'm not sure if it's a combination of rear gunner wanting to fight the fight between the two of them, or just hasn't seen an opportunity yet with similarly speeded cars. Into the hairpin they come, and another long move. Oh, nearly Antonidas there nearly pulled a Ramsey on Ramsey.
Yeah, he braked a lot that time going to Ramsey. Still a bit late, but earlier than normal, and he almost stopped in the middle of the turn, but luckily Antonidas wasn't aware of that. Didn't run into the back end.
So it did not, of course, as on to lap 13 this time around. 4 to go. And it's now still Mark Mercer and Stuart Adcock 1 and 2. It's been that way for a couple of laps now. I think it's really settled out in the passing stakes. Not seen any big moves in this top 3 for a while now, as Antonidas has dropped back towards Plumley here and Mark Turner up at the front again. Will we see anybody try and make anything happen? Shallow line there by Adcock, perhaps a little defensive on Ramsey. Maybe wanting to hold on to second place at least for now, just to let this one play out as they pull a gap on the rest of your field. Paul Thurston has managed to get past the car there. I believe that's a couple of bananas around him actually. I think he's got Darrell Taylor just behind teammate Paul Thurston there. Thurston ahead of that group, he's moved himself up to 13th place. Hobbs and Cox ahead of them with Leach and Bidewell in that second group in the front, along with Anthony Katz, Edwards, Turner and Plumley. At the very front though, still the same running order. The longest it's been the same running order in this race so far, Linus. As they're going to come back around now along the back stretch here at Oulton Park. Not yet seeing Adcock make his move, although I think he's waiting here to make this one last move, one firm move to hold this race because he's been more patient than anybody else has in terms of passing for the lead.
Yeah, and it seems to be paying off because they're staying ahead of, keeping the gap down to Antonides in 4th. He can't really catch up, and I don't know if that's because they're just too fast or if Antonides got any sort of damage, but at the front he's very, very close to Mercer, and he's just runs a little bit wider so he can't make a move, but here comes Ramsey instead trying to make a move for 2nd place, which he does not.
But not enough time for him to do so, although he might get a good run here at the final corner as Antonides holds ahead of Plumley, but only just. We'll see Ramsey make a move into 1 here. Has he got an opportunity? 3 laps to go here.
5th behind him.
It is, as Turner goes up the inside of Plumley, will make that one stick. And he goes very wide, and Plumley wobbles, so that's cost them both a huge amount of time. Edwards behind them, not close enough to take advantage there. The front, very stable, surprisingly so, as Thurston is still holding place there in 13th place. Tom Ward fighting back in 17th. Fairbanks just behind him with Ewan Patterson, Barry West, Carl Jacquelette, Chris Morris, Maltby in 23rd. It's McGovern in 24th, Morris in 25th, Harwick and Forrest, last car on the lead lap in 27th place. That's actually the car there mixed in with Thurston's pack. Just about a lap down actually at this point, or will be this time by. Mark Mercer though at the sharp end. Very close now between himself and Adcock. Adcock was looking for an opportunity now. Ramsey also in there, very, very close from your front 3. There's a lap car ahead they can all see. Could that play into this race? As to the outside, he makes a move, finally makes a move. Stuart Adcock outside for the final corner, but too far back to make a difference with it as Mercer's able to hold on there, but Ramsey smells blood in the water. Ramsey goes for inside line, too far back. Adcock to the outside now. He's really attacking now. These final 2 laps, Linus. Wasn't enough there. They're both going to run wide though, but they can both keep their foot in. The car stayed straight. Will he go to the outside again, or does he stay back in line for another run? Looks like he's going to stay back in line here. The lap car ahead, a little bit all over the track. We'll have to see whether that will be a factor. Car goes very wide, but it will be on the racing line as they approach the hairpin. This could change things. All to the outside, just makes it through in time. All 4 of them just get through. Awkward place to meet them now as Antonides taps the back of Gordon Ramsay nearly. He caught back up in a hurry.
Yeah, they battled for about 2 corners and all of a sudden he was right there. That's how quick you can lose this gap of 1 second by going side by side around this track in the series. But Mark Mercer is still out ahead with about a lap and a half to go, and Adcock, he is looking but he just can't get there. And he moves up the inside again and he's halfway in the grass, has to back out.
Very brave move there in the final moments of this race. But who will take this one back? Will it be Mark Mercer? Can the old veteran warhorse take a win here at Oulton Park on veteran Skippys territory?
Or will Gordon Ramsay cook a chicken dinner tonight? We'll have to see.
Exactly, yeah. Will Gordon Ramsay get a chicken dinner in this one? There's a bit of a PUBG reference there for you. Stuart Adcock, 2nd place. Will he be the one to lift the trophy here at Oulton Park? Oh, late move to the outside. Gonna try it again. Final lap here at Oulton Park. And now it's full steam ahead for Stuart Adcock as Mark Mercer once again very, very wide. They're all very wide, using every inch of that off track they can have on the outside of that first corner. Will we see an attack by Adcock? Not yet. Ramsey drops back nearly there. Here we go. Antonides goes through, wobbles his way through, just clips a wheel there with Ramsey, drops him into 4th place. Antonides going there for it. You go, Antonides. Into the, oh, here comes Ramsey, Banzai on the outside. Overcooks it, goes wide, loses some ground. As here we go, Mark Mercer, Stuart Adcock, Gordon Ramsay, Antonides, Robert Plumley, your top 5. Last chances here for Stuart Adcock. Has he got a chance? This will have to be a hero move. All or nothing for Adcock. Can he make it happen? Very close here as they climb the hill. Will he look to the inside? Has he got opportunity? It's going to be very close. He goes to the inside. Closed door there by Mark Mercer. Final couple of corners here at Oulton Park. Round number 11 in the Monday Night Skippy Series. Tom Ward down in the points there. 14th place. Big for Mark Mercer and Stuart Adcock in terms of points, but who will take the win? Final corner. Mercer still ahead. If he can finish this corner, he should hold on just long enough to take the win. Stuart Adcock closing fast. Side by side to the line. They will come. And it was Mark Mercer. Mark Mercer holds on to win at Oulton Park. And a race between two veterans there at the final moments. Mark Mercer and Stuart Adcock. Fantastic racing leaners across the line. And oh, Paul Thurston held on over James McRitchie. He takes 11th place here at Oulton Park. Nicely done by El Capitan. Tom Ward comes home in the 13th place. And it's been a general good day for the Bananas. Daryl Taylor, 16th place. Barry West, 18th place. Good runs from those guys. Simon Maltby recovers to 19th place. That's great for him. As, wow, what a race. Time to go to our post-race results. Mark Mercer takes the win here at Oulton Park with Stuart Adcock, Freeman Snyders completing your podium. Behind them, it's Gordon Ramsay, Robert Plumley, your top 5, with Mark Turner, Simon Edwards, Anthony Catt, Matt Cox, and Jack Hobbs, your top 10. Paul Thurston in 11th place with James McRitchie, Tom Ward, Patrick Fairbanks, Mark Shawley, Ewan Patterson, Barry West, Daryl Taylor, and Simon Maltby there with John McGovern in the 20th spot at the final moments. Rest of those results up on your screen as leaners. That was honestly an amazing race, and we just saw Mark Mercer there congratulating Gordon Ramsay and Robert Plumley for a fantastic race they enjoyed. Those guys, I think at the front, the top 5, had a fantastic race.
Yeah, that was an amazing race, and nice to see Gordon Ramsay keeping up with these guys throughout the entire race and really putting up a fight there. And for him, he didn't really look to be as fast as he usually is today for some reason, but somehow he still ends up in P3, which I think is amazing.
Certainly does. We've got him here to talk to. For him, Anthony's 3rd place here today in what was a roller coaster race with a lot of hard but respectful racing. How was it?
Yeah, it was a really good race. It's a tight track, and congratulations to both Gordon and Robert, who were right up there fighting with the fast guys. And it was a very tentative race for me because I know that Stuart Adcock is fighting for a championship, and the last thing I wanted to do was get involved in a fight which might take him out. So I held back and I stayed behind Gordon as long as I could until the very last lap when I saw an opportunity to make my move. But I just didn't want to interfere with a championship fight, so I didn't want to force an error issue, especially when we've got two guys who, as fast as they are, they're not used to fighting for a podium. And I know what that used to be like. Your nerves jangle and you start making mistakes and you start taking people out. So I just stayed out of it until the very last second.
Well, he did a fantastic job, and he managed to sneak ahead of Gordon Ramsay there, stealing his position in the final moments. A nicely done move there from you, Fahim, as hopefully a great race today goes on to more points, of course, in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
If, Alan actually updates the points.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've got to give it to Gordon and Robert. They raced superbly today, and they were a real match for all of us up front. So congrats on their performance today.
It certainly did. I must say, I do want to kind of congratulate both of those guys, especially Robert, though, for being out front for so long, holding off everyone in that race. Incredible driving from two guys who are normally kind of mid to rear of the top 10, having an absolute front row performance today, earning those qualifying spots. Well,
yeah,
joined
it
now
looks like they're coming of age. Sorry, gotta go.
They certainly are. No, they certainly are for him. Thank you for joining us. And well, we're joined by Barry West here, 17th place. Another good result. Qualified 32nd, Barry. Nice one.
Yes, that was a good race. Yeah, I would have been a bit higher actually, but I got caught up into two people being lapped racing each other, and I had to lift. And Tom Ward was behind me 4 seconds, and then I thought, oh, well, that's to be good. He's going to catch me up, and I can just tag on behind him. But I had to lift for these two guys, and he caught me right up, and then managed to get the better run on us. So yeah, it was good. But yeah, apart from that, I had a pretty lonely race, nobody to get a toe off of, and the same in qualifying. I didn't get a toe in qualifying, so I'm pleased with that. Yeah, 17th and 32nd. Yeah, good race.
Fantastic result indeed, and looks like you're having a good run of decent results in the last couple of rounds. Has something changed?
No, just making sure I keep out of trouble, and yeah, don't worry about losing places in the beginning of the race. And a lot of people just think to try and win it in the first couple of laps, and I thought, well, no, let them go by.
Ah, you've come of age, Barry. That's the trick. That is the trick.
This is
you don't race at the start.
Racecraft, yes.
Yeah, you don't race at the start. You let them all kill each other, then you race.
Yeah.
Either way, speaking of, oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, why put pressure on yourself if you get past guys that are faster than you? You just put pressure on yourself all through the race. So just follow them and you can learn as the race goes on and wait till they fall off, hopefully. But yeah, 3 bananas in the top 20, yeah.
A bunch, in fact. Speaking of the master of the sweep up the people who decide to demolish themselves, Mr. Thurston's here, 11th place at one of his favourite tracks.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks, but not necessarily. I just started that with did you notice? It's one of my favourite tracks, but it's not always nice to me. I've had a lot of bad luck at Oulton Park over the years, but I like this layout. I seem to be quite quick at this one. I don't know why I'm better at this one without the extended bit around the down the lake and all that. But yeah, it was I love it here. I love racing here because it's so tight. But I mean, I qualified really well. I got a time in early on, really quickly. I was following Jack Hobbs, so I got a really good tow. And I was in 8th, I think, at that point in quali. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to get better than that. So I actually gave Darryl a bit of help. And we pulled Darryl up the grid bit because he couldn't find a drafting partner. And that worked. So I dropped down to about 14th or something. I can't remember where I started. And then just kept it clean, as you say. People started falling off, but then suddenly on about sort of second or third lap, I had Matt, Jack Hobbs, James McCritchie all overtook me on one lap. They just sort of got the drop on me. I lost a bit of speed coming out of a corner. And they all just cruised past. A corner. Yeah, that's a corner.
Oh,
it's the it was the nth corner. That was the one. Yeah.
It's the one before the corner and after a corner.
No. It's the one before corner A. That's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the right-hander, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just off the left. Got it. Okay, well we'll move on from this confusing myriad of generalities that is a post-race show here on Monday Night Skippys. I'm getting hot mic from Paul Thurston.
I was a bit unlucky at the end. I mean, Darryl basically didn't see James. He was trying to keep James behind him on the last lap, and missed his braking point coming into the hairpin, and basically took me out. But luckily, somehow, I hope you caught that because it was the most brilliant save. We didn't,
unfortunately.
Oh well, sorry. You can watch the good stuff. I was rally crossing it round the hairpin, and then just it had no pace. But James Sporting, he'd seen what happened in that he was involved. Darryl pushed it, all come in, and he didn't overtake. So that was nice. So I didn't actually leave his place on that. So 11th, yeah, that's a full season's worth of points I've got. That's the first time for a while.
There you go. Great result there from you and Paul Thurston. Well, thank you very much for joining me. That was, of course, Paul Thurston coming on today in 11th place and Barry West in 17th. Thank you for joining us tonight at Monday Night Skippys. Again, another fantastic race here. We are off to Montreal next week in Quebec, Canada, for the final round of the season and the big showdown. Join us, same time, next place. No, same time next week. That's the word I was looking for. I've been Rachel. I've been joined by Linus and Hugo the Legend on the cameras. We'll see you next time. Good night.